Hi guys, my name is Darren. Thanks for watching this video. I am a type 1 diabetic. I've been diabetic for about 16 years. I found out I was diabetic through kickboxing. I'm a kickboxer. I've been part of the Great Britain kickboxing team for 17 years. I'm also a former British, European and World Kickboxing Champion. Now, like I said, I found out through kickboxing. What happened is one day I weighed in for a fight up in Worcester in England, and I lost a lot of weight, and I kept going to the toilet every 5 minutes, and I knew there was something not right. So back then, I went to the doctors. I saw the doctor, and then it was pretty obvious I was diabetic. And from that day onwards, I was giving myself shots of insulin, and then have to do the finger prick test, and basically I've been doing that now for a long time. Finger prick testing, as you know, if you're not into one of these, can be pretty sore. It's a prick in the finger. You test it with your blood, and it'll tell you what your sugar levels are. But about 13-14 months ago, I came across the Freestyle Libre. Now, basically, the Freestyle Libre, it gives you a glucose reading without having to prick your finger. So what it does is you put a sensor into your arm and then you scan the arm. So you just scan the arm and it will give you a reading of what your sugar levels. It reads your glucose. It's not quite the same as reading your blood like the conventional finger prick test. It reads something which is called your interstitial glucose reading. It's something along those. I'm not quite sure myself. By all means, look it up and it'll tell you what it is. But it's really good. I always find when I test with this and when I use the finger prick testing, it's only maybe 2 units out. It's never far off what the finger prick test does or reads. So to me, I'm quite happy and quite confident that this is good enough for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you unwrapping the box, how it goes in, and everything that this thing does really. So this is a new box. I'm going to unwrap it. What's in the box is the instructions. Personally, don't need the instructions myself. I've been using these for a little while. It's probably worth me saying that they are quite expensive, and if you're in the UK, they are not available on the NHS, and around the world, I do believe you have to pay for them yourself. In the UK, they retail at, I believe, £57 for one sensor. That one sensor will only last you for 14 days, and then you have to take it out and put another one in. So it's quite a big financial commitment if you want these, and if you're like me, once you've had a few and you realise how nice it is not to go from, pricking your finger all the time to be able to scan your arm, you kind of get quite addicted to it. Now, I personally can't be without them. I think the bonus for me is I can scan my arm every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, whenever I want to, I can scan and see what my reading is. The beauty about the Freestyle Libre is not only is it telling me what my level is here and now, it also tells me where it's been in the last 8 hours. So I could have a sugar level of 5 or 6 and think that's great, but then it also show me where it's been 8 hours before. Or if you scan with a mobile phone, which we'll come back to in a bit, it can tell you where you've been over the last 24 hours, which is really quite handy. For instance, if you was 5 and you think, great, my levels are great, but you may be on your way down or you may be on your way up. Sorry, my daughter's smiling at me. What are you smiling for?
I don't like the sound of it.
You don't like the sound of it? No. She doesn't like the sound of it. I don't know why she doesn't like the sound of it. Luckily, it does click. She is not diabetic, and hopefully she will remain not diabetic. So, back to the topic. So you can scan and it will tell you where you're going, and it'll also tell you the direction and the train of your level. So for instance, if the arrow is pointing straight down, it's telling me that my sugar level is going down quite rapidly. And if I test it 5 or 10 minutes later, I will see that it is actually going down. Also, the flip side of that, it can tell me if I'm going up. It can tell me if I'm going up slowly, where the arrow will be pointing to a slight angle, 45 degrees, or if it's going straight up, then I know that my levels are racing up quite high. So it's a great way of monitoring and keeping an eye on where your sugar levels are. So, once again, here's the Libre. This is what comes in the box. This is the machine that fires it into your arm. And now it sounds quite painful. People are quite scared of how it goes in, because basically you put the sensor on, you click it in there, and you put it to the back of your arm, and you push the button and it fires it into your arm. I have heard people put it in different places. Fair enough if it works for you. However, the company that make these, which is Abbott, I don't think you're going to have much luck trying to claim your money back if it fails to work or drops off if you put it anywhere other really than the back of your arm. So something that you may want to look into if you are not happy putting it on the back of your arm. Now, I'm very sporty, like I said at the beginning, do a lot of kickboxing. I wrap my arm with a sensor on with this tape. This is basically called horse bandage, and you can buy it on eBay. So I will get my daughter to help me wrap my arm at the end of the video so you can see that actually happen. And that's how it works. So here it is. This is the sensor, this is the applicator. What else is in the box, which is really, really vitally important, is some cleaning swabs, if you like. If you have an issue and the sensor doesn't work, one thing they'll ask you on the phone is, did you do it correctly? So make sure that when you get your sensor out, you get the cleaning stuff. The area where you're going to put your sensor, make sure it's nice and clean. And fellas, if you've got hairy arms, maybe worth shaving your arms too. My daughter's laughing again. Maybe worth shaving your arms so the hair doesn't get in the way of the sticky stuff. Now, it will last for 14 days. I see lots of people saying they fall off. To me, they don't fall off because, I wrap it. Now, I don't know if you can see that. There is a 5mm needle type thing inside there, covered in tape. And that is what's going to go firing into my arm. So, you don't feel it. All you feel is the click of the machine going in. So now you can see, you should actually now be able to see the end, possibly. It's 0.4mm thick and 5 meters long. That's going to go in my arm, and it's going to stay there now for 14 days. So, I don't know how well you can see that. Can you see that, Sky?
Yes.
So I'm going to put it around about there where I've cleaned. And all I'm going to do is press it in. Once I've pressed it, it will make a big click. And like I say, the worst thing about this is the sound. It just fires into your arm. I promise you, it doesn't hurt. So I'm going to push it here. 1, 2, 3. There you go. It's now in my arm. So yeah, you just scan it, and then that'll give you a reading. Now, like I said before, you've got the two methods. You've got the scanner, which you can be bought from the Abbott site, or what I use is my mobile phone, an app called the Libre Link, and I scan it with my phone. And then when you first put the application in, first put the sensor in, it will beep like this, hopefully. And now it will tell me the sensor starting up, and in 60 minutes time, that will be ready for me to use then and scan whenever I want for the next 2 weeks. The great thing about it is if I'm driving, I can just scan and stuff like that. So it really, really is something well worth doing. Now, one thing I do is I use tape to secure it to my arm. Because I do a lot of sport, I put the tape on, and that keeps it there. And I have no problems with it falling off or anything like that. So what I'm going to do now is get my little assistant, my little 8-year-old, going to come around and give me a hand, and I put this tape on, nice and stretchy, and I will put it over the arm, and then she'll wrap it for me, and there we go, it's on that side, and then again, that's it, job done. Say hello, wave.
Hi.
That's it, great stuff. So it's waterproof. You can take it in the water. I think it's 30 minutes submersion in the water, I think, the sensor itself. I shower, I keep this on. You change it every few days. It really is good stuff, guys. If you're thinking about doing sports or you want to move away from pricking your fingers all the time, have a think about the Freestyle Libre. I think it's a really good product, and I recommend it. Hopefully at some point it will be available on the NHS. And more important, let's hope the price comes down as well if it doesn't. So thanks for watching. Feel free to follow me on Facebook on my sports, diabetes and sport page. So it's Diabetes and Sport on Facebook, and it'd be great to come and see you on there and have a chat with me on Facebook. So once again, Diabetes and Sport. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.